Alright, what's going on everyone out there on YouTube? NES Ruler, and welcome to a brand new review. And this time we'll be checking out a film that was sent to me to review by Criterion Films. And you can pick this up right now on DVD and Blu-ray. And it is a very exciting release here, guys. It is John Waters' Multiple Maniacs from the year 1970. Now, I've been waiting for this film for a really, really long time. I'm a huge John Waters fan. If you guys haven't watched my videos for a while, you know I have the old Criterion Laserdisc of Pink Flamingos hung up on my wall. I just love his films. You know, they're definitely a certain taste type of a genre of sleazy garbageness, but I just love John Waters. I really hope Criterion re-releases Pink Flamingos down the line. But when I heard that this film was getting a restoration and a new release, I was super, super excited. I know this had a theatrical release in August here in Chicago, but unfortunately I was working on a film at the time, so I wasn't able to go and check it out. But I was very excited to hear that they were going to actually release it on home media, and finally it is here. And this is John Waters' second film, of course, starring the Define and the usual Dream Landers crowd, and of course that is a very awesome thing. Now, you could only get this film back in the day on VHS, and it was very grainy and dirty and messy, and it didn't really look very good. But Criterion went in, they super, super cleaned this up, and it looks absolutely fantastic. For a film that was stored very poorly in John Waters' attic for years, was able to be restored, and it looks really, really, really nice, especially some of the outdoor scenes. They look really, really beautiful, and it surprised me that they were able to restore it like they did. So basically, it's just your typical goofy John Waters storyline, but it's not as crazy as Pink Flamingos in any sense. That film is definitely his craziest movie in sense of subject matter. This one is a little bit more tame in the sense of nudity and crazy stuff that goes on throughout the film. It still has its really insane, over-the-top John Waters traits, but it doesn't have the same kind of gross-out moments that Pink Flamingos has. Of course, the famous scene at the end of that film. But this one definitely has one scene that it is famous for, and that takes place when Define gets raped by a giant lobster in a giant lobster costume, and it's just, I think that's the one scene that this film is definitely known for, and it just looks absolutely absurd. But that's what you expect from a John Waters film, you know? You don't expect anything less than absurdity. And this suit is just insane. It's just a bunch of plaster, and they put like giant eyeballs on it, and you can see the wires. And because, you know, it's cleaned up really, really well, you can see a whole bunch of other different things that you probably couldn't have noticed when you were watching it back in the day on VHS, or even if you were lucky to see it when it was screened on film. But you know, you see the wires, and you see the whole bunch of other stuff, and they talk about this scene a little bit in the special features, and I'll get into that in a second, but that is definitely the craziest scene in the film, in my opinion. And there's another scene that takes place in a church that's a little bit absurd as well, but besides that, it's not that absurd of a film in terms of a John Waters film. So basically, we follow Define's character. She plays Lady Define. She's a leader of this circus type of sideshow attraction. She brings people in, and she shows them crazy stuff, and she ends up either kidnapping them or killing them, and that's basically the story. And one day, Define brings a group in, Lady Define brings a group into one of the shows, and she starts murdering people, and her boyfriend, Mr. David, played by David Lochary. That's the thing with these characters, they're all named after their first names. That's her boyfriend, and he is in an affair with another lady who is in part of the circus group as well, and it's Define just getting extremely pissed off about this relationship, and it's her going crazy and trying to kill them. And that's basically the plot of the film. And in between, there's some weird Catholic imagery and things along those lines going on as well. And you can see John Waters is trying to make a statement about the times. You know, this was during, you know, hippie era and a high time tension-wise in America at the time with the war going on, with the Vietnam War going on. You can see John Waters trying to make a statement about the war and peace and love and things like that throughout this movie, with a bunch of absurdity going on at the same time. So I give John Waters credit. You know, he's a very liberal director, of course, in his film. So I appreciate that. Even though it is a sleazy and dirty film, he is trying to at least make some kind of statement. And it's definitely his best looking film in sense of cinematography at this time. It looks really, really good. It's not outrageous or anything like that. And of course, you know when you get a Criterion film, you're going to get some awesome features. And there's some really awesome commentary on this release, a new commentary on this release with John Waters talking about the film. And it's really, really interesting and really fascinating. I love listening to him talk about his films. You know, I have a few others in my collection. Female Trouble, for example, that has a very similar commentary on it. That's really, really great. And then we got an interview with a bunch of the cast members who are still alive. Unfortunately, with John Waters' cast, a lot of them are no longer with us, but we still have some with us, Mink Stoll and some other people who were involved with the film. And they just talk about John Waters and his personality, and how he was actually quite a perfectionist and he wanted everything said correctly and things like that. And then they said, you know, these films might look like sleaze and trash, but they were really trying. You know, they had to remember their lines, and they didn't really ad-lib that much because John Waters didn't like that. And, you know, they had to try to make a movie, even though it doesn't look like it. So it was interesting to hear him talk about that, and of course the lobster scene, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Just a really, really fascinating feature on this release. It's about a half hour long. Just really, really cool to see a new featurette featuring some of these people talking about this movie, because, you know, not too many people really talk about it. And then we have a video essay on here, like most Criterion releases, that talks about some of the ethics that I was talking about a little bit ago about Christianity and war and peace and love and all that kind of stuff. So that's really interesting. That's like a 10-minute essay. And we got the trailer, and that's about it. And then inside of the release, we have the lobster. This is a really, really cool booklet on this one. I really like this booklet. Of course, there are some of the characters, well, all the characters. Got the Fine, Mr. David, just a whole bunch of really cool characters. And then, like, inside it has like a cast list. It's really cool. It's really old school type of a cast list, and some more photos. And then, of course, we have the essay inside that every Criterion release comes with. And this is a really, really interesting read. Talks about John Waters and the film and how it came to be and all that kind of stuff. Really, really interesting essay. And then we have a little bit more information about the transfer right there as well. So just a really, really fantastic... See? I drop everything at least once, and that was about to happen. So there you go, I dropped it. But just a really, really nice release from Criterion. Just super, super excited that this film got some love and new transfer and everything from Criterion. Like I said, I hope down the line that they re-release Pink Flamingos and clean it up and give it a new transfer as well, because I think this will be a really, really fun film to have a nice special edition release. But for now, I'll live with my Laserdisc, but it's hung up on my wall, so I don't really watch it that much. But thank you again, everybody, for watching. That is my review of multiple Maniacs that you can pick up right now from Criterion Films on Blu-ray and DVD. So thank you again, everybody, for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NESRuler22. Hope everybody's doing well, and I'll talk to you guys soon. See you guys.